Today I'm going to show you how you can use some Christmas spool wire, magnetic base clips, and some LED lights to transform your car or SUV from an ordinary car into a Christmas light show on wheels. The first thing that you're going to need is Christmas spool wire. Now this is C9 spool wire and they sell it by the roll. Literally, it comes on these huge, absolutely huge rolls. You can get it in 250 feet sections, 500 foot sections, or 1,000 foot sections. So for my Christmas light business, I actually use 1,000 foot section. You can also buy it by the foot at some local home retailers. Here in Houston, we have Ace Hardware, and Ace will sell this by the foot. I think it's like 51 cents a foot, and so you can estimate out how much of the lighting wire that you're going to need. For my particular application, our Volkswagen ID4 is a mid-size SUV, and I did the hood, part of the tailgate, trunk, and one side. And I'll talk more about why I did only one side here later in the video. Used 100 feet of wire and 100 LED bulbs and 100 magnetic clips. So that gives you an idea. You could probably do an entire car in 125 lights, or you could do an entire SUV in 200 lights if you wanted to wrap the entire car. I always see photos and videos of people with Christmas lights on their cars, and I think, wow, that would be really cool. But they're always using, believe it or not, hot glue or command strips, and a lot of command strips, and stringing that wire across. I've always thought to myself, there's got to be an easier way. And, well, I think this is the easier way. Now these magnetic base clips are designed for C7 or C9 spool wire. Now traditionally these are used for metal fencing or metal roof applications in order to be able to hold a Christmas light. But a metal car also makes a great canvas because a steel car, well, it's magnetic and these will click right on. A few benefits of using these versus hot glue or command strips. One is it's far easier and takes a lot less time. I was able to put these on my car in less than 30 minutes. The second thing is they are just as simple to take off. You literally take the magnet and you pull it off. There's no hot glue to remove, no command strips to remove. And so I think ease of installation and ease of removal are two of the reasons why these just make a lot more sense. And the third thing is, if you're a little bit OCD like me, then you don't really like the sag in the Christmas lights. So when you're using command strips, those lights will sag in between if you're using just regular traditional string lights. Because these are magnetic, you can put them on and you can take a look to see how they look at night, and then you can simply adjust them and line them up to make them look better. You can see just how incredibly easy this is. You just take the magnetic clip, place it over the spool wire, and twist it onto the wire base. So I'm only picking one side of the car to actually light up with Christmas lights, and that's because, as you can see, the wire is going to be across your doors, and that's going to prevent you from being able to open those doors. This side is not going to be done. The roof is also glass, so it will not stick to the roof.
But the primary reason why I'm doing this is to put this as part of my Christmas light display. So I'm going to back the car out into the driveway. And this is going to be the side that faces my Christmas light display. So I'll back the car out here. Most of my traffic is coming from that way. So this is a dead end street. So they're going to come see the lights and they'll see the side of the car lit up there. So because they're magnetic, you can move them into whatever spacing that you would like. So I've just started there and I've come down and I've done about a 5-inch spacing or 5-inch gap here, and I've come up, done that space, come down all the way on the hood of the car, and then I've come around the side of the car up to any of the magnetic spots or portions. And I've come back down, and then I've started to do a zigzag into the empty space. So you can see that zigzag down into the center portions of where there were some gaps from those original even lines. And then that's where I will end my wire. Again, this is pretty much for display, although you could drive this on the road.
People always say, Rick, how do you power that? Well, both the car and the lights, they plug in.
So the next thing is to talk bulbs. These are LED filaments. These are LED multifaceted. The filaments give you that old-time Christmas look of an incandescent, but they're fragile. If somebody hits their car door against that, opening up while you're parked somewhere, that's going to burst and shatter. The faceted will not. Again, because mine's going to be sitting in my driveway, I'm actually going to use what I have left for my Christmas bulbs this year, and I'm going to do a mix of faceted and soft white in between and see how it looks. You can do whatever color you would like. You could do red, you could do multicolor. The bulbs are interchangeable, you can change it out. So I've got all my bulbs in. Can't wait to see how it looks. We're gonna get the wiring done. So this is the part that is gonna terminate. This would normally be the female end of a plug, but I'm just gonna cut it and put some electrical tape on it. Done. On the opposite side, I'm going to add a male plug. This is called an SP2 plug or a vampire plug. It's because it's got little teeth that act like a vampire. Attaches on and you can make your own electrical wiring. Boom, done. So I have everything connected, plugged in, all my bulbs are working. Now let's do something for the tires. These are 32-inch outdoor snowflakes, lighted snowflakes by Holiday Living. These come from Lowe's. And they're the perfect size to make wheels. Again, these do not attach for driving. These are just for display purposes, for it to sit in the yard, but it just adds that additional element. So I'm just taking them and I am bending the ends of the stars down to hang it over the wheel. Take the straight line here and simply hold it and bend. That'll give you the shape up against the wheel. So you're probably asking yourself right now, Rick, whoa, wait, how did you do that? How do you have a plug in the middle of your wire there? Well, you can create pass-throughs using your SPT or vampire plugs. So you can see here I have a container of both. These are male plugs, these are female plugs. You can buy them online via the link in my YouTube video description. If you have an Ace Hardware, you can also buy these individually or you can buy them in packages. So they're going to come, this is a female plug here. This has the end attached, so they'll come like this, and that is what we use to create our end point on our wire. You take a pair of scissors or pliers and you simply pull that tab out, and then it looks like this. And this is what we call a pass-through. So with the pass-through plug, then we can create a point anywhere in the wire. We can add a pass-through for a connection for a light or something like that for our wheels. So each of these wires, if you want to watch my video on how to do this, I have a more detailed video. But you can see there are two little prongs. Those are the quote vampire teeth. That's why they're called vampire plugs. The large wire is the neutral, and the small, or I should say the large slot is the neutral, and the small slot is the positive. These correspond to the vampire plugs on the back. So you can see there the two vampire plugs, one on each side, and again those correspond to the slots on the wire, or the slots on the plug. So the large slot is always going to be your neutral, and the small slot is always going to be your positive or your power. Now when we look at our wire here, this is going to be really difficult to see on camera, and especially because it's getting dark out as I film this. But your wire has a ribbed side. This is the ribbed side. You can see it in person and you can feel it, so you will not be confused. And then it has a smooth side, ribbed side. The large slot, or the neutral, is always, you always want that vampire tooth that is associated with that to be on the ribbed side. So you'll put it on the rib side, you'll put the cap on, a pair of pliers, slide it across, and now you have your own pass-throughs that you can use to power wheels, or you could power anything else in your display, etc. Super useful and easy, so you don't have to run a lot of wires to individual things. I'm using an Ego battery pack, but because I've got this male end here, I could run an extension cord. Then I can also run a cord and have this inside the car. So if you don't have a battery pack or any type of inverter like this, you can do a cigarette lighter inverter, and you could run it from the cigarette lighter inside your car. So when I do drive the car with the lights on it, I'm running the line door sill. Door just shuts against it. This weatherproofing on the door keeps it from cutting the cord along the back of my dash, and then down. Remember, this is my inverter, and I simply just push the button to turn them off, or push and hold the button to turn them on. So I tested these out on the feeder road here in Houston before I hopped on the I-45, speeds of 75 miles an hour, and these lights did not budge. So you can absolutely drive with these in your daily commute, or even on the highway. Now you'll notice here I don't have my lights on the highway. I don't think personally my fellow Houston drivers need any additional reason to be distracted by all means. They are the worst drivers of any of the 6 states that I've ever lived in. But I do turn them on when I'm in parking lots. So here I am at an HEB. I'll play some Christmas music or roll the windows down. I like to see the reflection of the lights in the window. I think it looks really cool. And then people just really do like to see them when they're in a parking lot. So I will use them in parking lots, but not when I'm actually driving on the road. It's also pretty distracting from inside the car. And so there you have it. With just a few supplies that you can get online or at a local hardware store, you too can turn your car into an amazing part of your own Christmas light show, or even drive it on the road. Surprise people. It really does make people happy to see Christmas lights. It gives us that little bit of nostalgia from our childhoods. If you like this video and found it useful or helpful, please like and subscribe, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you on the next video.